Welcome back to a tiny update video today. As always, I'm using the Fractal method, rules, explanation video. For that, I will link at the end of the video. Why tiny update video? Because today we're only talking about AMC, VIX, and the community wish, because all the rest didn't really move. So let's jump in. So we didn't broke any levels today, even with the 10%, nothing changed. But because I saw some questions and I realized there's still some misunderstandings here, I think. So, and it's a little update to the Sunday video. So I try again to make it as easy to understand as possible. Yeah? So first of all, the absolute bullish variant. The absolute bullish variant is, I was wrong. Yeah, the absolute bullish variant is we are not doing higher low, and this shit is quite the same like this shit. Yeah. We didn't squeeze today. Yeah. As still people were saying, yeah, because of OPEX, FOMC. Okay, FOMC is on Wednesday, and 7 days after earnings, we have to squeeze this Monday. Didn't happen. But one thing, I'm also the opinion that AMC and Jimmy always break Friday, Monday. Yeah. Because we did that all in the last 6 years. But there's also the things where you had a strong Monday, we closed with 10% plus, and then we gapped up on Tuesday. So I give that a 1% chance that we gapping up tomorrow. But that is the last one. If we're not gapping tomorrow, we don't see a squeeze the rest of the week. Just to make that clear. And I don't see it. But still, to be absolutely clear and transparent, we had a strong Monday. There is a small chance to gap tomorrow. Yeah. If not, then I'm right. Okay. So for the bullish version, still, for the bullish version, we are not doing the higher low. We will break tomorrow or Wednesday $2.60. Yeah. Let's zoom in here. We break through this. And for the bullish variant, we have to break $3 after that. Yeah. That doesn't mean we have to do this tomorrow. Yeah. But it should be a steady uptrend. Yeah. Not something like this. Yeah. So if we break to 60, yeah, doesn't matter if tomorrow or on Wednesday, we also have to break $3. We come in the bearish version. I will show what happens if we don't. What happens if we break $3? First of all, the absolute bullish is if we break $3, the higher low, the 183 is off the table. Yeah. For me, I have no version where we break $3 and still do this. Yeah, that's not in the box. So if we break $3, 183 is off the table. And also to make that clear, in my opinion, if we break $3, all-time low is, let's say, 80% off the table. This breaking this landmark is absolutely fucking bullish. What happens if we break $3? We have two versions, or I have two versions for this. First, we break $3 and we gap. We're getting a massive volume jump and we're doing a 1-part or a 2-part squeeze. If you want to know my personal price targets without financial advice, watch the roadmap video, yeah, which I link at the end. But I think nobody will be unhappy about this price targets. So breaking $3, fucking gap. If we're just breaking $3 and don't gap, only with strong moves, the other version is, as we also already talked about, that my main thinking still is that there's a possibility that we are sitting, if we're not doing the higher low, at January 15. Yeah, if we're doing the higher low, we are sitting somewhere in here, but that is in the other version. So this would be the $3 mark. Yeah, this is January 15, 2021. So we have two versions. We're breaking $3, getting massive volume and fucking gap. Yeah. The only question is, are we doing a one-part squeeze to all-time highs, or are we doing the first part, which would be this? If we're not gapping at $3 and just doing a massive run, there's still the possibility that we have to do this. That would be January the 20th to January 22nd. In that case, what would that mean for now? If we're really doing this slow version, that would mean, let's zoom out, we would run massively somewhere in here. Yeah, I don't think we will break this trend line, so it would be something between $6 and $4, something in this range. And then we would still have to do the pullback, yeah, which can go to $3 back. It shouldn't go to $3, somewhere in here. And then we can go. The problem with this is time. So if we really do this, if we really have to do January 20 to January 22nd, these two landmarks are quite the same, how do you call it, length. Yeah, I mean, V to January 15 is a bit bigger than January 15 to January 22nd. Yeah, but it's kinda the same length. I mean, you shouldn't compare for 6 years the length of that, but the problem is right now, this took us 120 days. So even if this take half of this time, it would be 60 days. This would bring us to September, end of September. If we're doing 120 days or more, this already brings us to November. If it's 1-to-1, I tell you, this year, the real run will be January 2027. This could still be August, the peak, if you're doing it that slow. But again, if you're not, no financial advice, if you're not covering your options here, you're fucked. Because this pullback will take some time. If we do that. Yeah? I think nobody can answer this. We have to see. The only question is if we're breaking $3 and gap, or do we have to do this nonsense? Yeah, that is the absolute bullish version. Now to my main version, or the normal version. Yeah, and this main and normal version, I tell you that today was shit. That today was bullshit. Yeah? For my main and normal version, this is still our higher low. Still. Yeah? And this would still be our peak of this higher low. Why was that bullshit today? Because if we're still doing that, which I think, this was today our lower high of this higher low. And we still have to come down to 183. But if we're really doing every single landmark perfectly, so slowly, well, our next target is something under 212, coming up again for our M, falling, coming up again for our T, and then we fall to 183, and then we go. Problem with this is, if the lower high already took us 6 days, then maybe the M takes us 6 days, and then maybe the T also takes us 6 days. Well, then we are already in August 11. Yeah. And August 10, August 11. Yeah. Maybe August 17. And then it already gets fucking short and bad for Augusts. Just saying. Yeah? No financial advice. Really, no financial advice. I also still have my Augusts. Yeah, because we could do something stupid, or we could just be quick. Would be. But If I see something like this, I'm out of my Augusts. Just saying. Yeah. If we go under 212, we bounce here, I'm out of my Augusts. Yeah. To make that absolutely clear, my option contracts are so tiny. Yeah. I only have 500 contracts. Yeah. Doesn't matter if that is much or small for you. For me, it's tiny. My share position is way bigger. Yeah. That's why if I see this, I am out of my contracts, because then I will just wait for this and then I will look for new contracts, because I don't hold the options till the last week of August. Could still be okay, but because I already saw a video today who the guy is saying that August contracts are 100% safe. With this stupid move today, I wouldn't say they are 100% safe. Yeah, because again, this stupid thing can take some time. Yeah, not saying that August can't print, but if the volume is really dropping off here, it's fucking bad. Yeah, but this is my main version. Yeah, I would like it more if we already did this today. Yeah, so let's see. Now to the bearish version, because I got already the question: is it okay if we do this? Is it okay if we do this? Is it okay if we do this? And my answer on all this question is no, absolutely not. First, if we break 260, also $2.60, we have to break $3. We have. Yeah. It's not okay to do a pullback here. What do I mean with that? So there's no misunderstanding. We can do something like this. That's okay. Yeah, these little pullbacks are okay. What I mean with pullback is if we're doing something like this. This is not okay. Or something like, this is not, something like this is also not okay. Yeah. If you break 260, you also have to break $3. If not, and you reject somewhere in here, for me personally at least, that only tells you one thing. It tells you that June 22nd was the peak of 2026. And this here, wherever it will be, is the lower high. In that case, you will go down, you will bounce somewhere, maybe even over 160. You will bounce M, T, and the rest of the year, you will fall and make a new all-time low. That's why, if you're cheering for breaking of 260, which I can understand, yeah, you also have to break $3. You have to. Otherwise, it's really fucking bad. Next thing. Doesn't matter which version we are doing. Again, a break of 160. I already said that in the last videos. A break of 160, same idea. If we fall from here, or if we're doing something like that and break 160, July 21st was the lower high. In that case also, the rest of the year you will fall and make a new all-time low. Yeah, that makes no sense for me. Again, I don't see it. Fundamentally, it makes no sense. AMC has less step, is making better earning, blah, 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 blah. This is fundamentals. It doesn't matter still for me. Breaking our def lines, and I think I proved that already enough times with FFI, GNS, FLNA, yeah, and hopefully not beyond, yeah. But breaking 160 and this thing is at least for 2026, in my opinion, dead. Yeah, so don't do that. Okay. So I hope today is everything clear. Yeah. Again, you can ask me whatever you want. Yeah, I will always answer question. I just say it again. I have my levers. As long as we don't break levers, we can jump 20, 50, 80% in a day. Yeah. We had 10% today. Yeah. But if you look at that today, if I just make this trend line here, as long as we're not breaking over 260, nothing is changing. Yeah. Okay. 10%. But nothing right now is changing. If we break 260, okay, fine. Yeah. But otherwise, yeah, not really something happened today, in my opinion. Okay. Because of the market, we also look at VIX. Again, VIX, volatility index, means bearish VIX is bullish for the market, bullish VIX is bad for the market. Again, for our section here, August 2024 was our peak, our C, lower high, and here in March 2026 was the peak of our midpoint. Nothing changed for my trackings there. The start of this midpoint was here in December 2025, here at $13-ish, and it's still not finished for me. Yeah, to be the point where it's finished, we have to drop under $13 again. So if we now micro track this shit, we have our V, somewhere is our A, our B, C. Then we did lower high, fell down, came up, midpoint, and we made a lower low. So the midpoint is the little midpoint from the big point, midpoint is finished. Then we had a few terrible days in the last week. We went up, but we didn't broke this main trend line. And especially we didn't broke the peak of the little M. And that means for me, this here was the peak of T. Then we fall from Thursday till today and made this lower high for VIX. And rejected again this trend line. So, in my opinion, if my tracking is right, we now should fall on VIX. Yeah? And you should fall under 1342 to just finish the midpoint. If we do that, we're getting a fucking blow off top in the market, because this is a drop from 30% in VIX. This is a blow off top in the market. And to make that clear for data, whatever they are doing on FOMC, it would be bullish. Microsoft earnings would be bullish. Apple earnings on Thursday would be bullish. Amazon earnings on Thursday would be bullish to get just such a big rally in the market. Maybe not all three of them. Maybe one of them is bearish. But I would say Microsoft and Amazon should be bullish, yeah, if we want to see that. I don't have a bullish alternative for VIX. I really don't have. It would make for me no sense if VIX is doing this. But to make that absolutely clear, because only because I can't see it doesn't mean there is none. In the moment where VIX is breaking $20.30, and that's not much, really, that's not much. That's only 8% on VIX. That's one bad day for SPY. This is already fucking bullish if we do that, and bad for the market. Absolutely confirmation is if VIX is breaking 23.31. If we do that, we're getting a market correction. And if we're not stopping, and if we break $27 on VIX, we're getting a market crash, a real one. I'm talking about 5, 6, 7, 8, 10%, 15% down on SPY. Not in one day, but in weeks. This would be fucking bad. The thing is, VIX has no place left. Yeah, I think we will get the answer this week. Yeah, because for the bearish case for VIX, we already did the peak, we already did the lower high. For this to be true, VIX has to continuously going down. It also means bullish earnings, bullish SPY, bullish Nasdaqs, no real pullbacks anymore, just up. If I'm wrong and VIX is going up here, Microsoft earnings will be a knife. Apple earnings will be a knife. Amazon earnings will be a knife. And whatever they are doing on FOMC, it would be fucking bad. That's really so close are we. VIX has no way to turn around here. If we do that, something terrible will happen, whatever it is, and VIX will spike up and the market will knife. If not, and my normal tracking is okay, we're getting a bull rally. Pretty easy. Till we reach this point of $13, then we get a market correction, as it should. But till then, it should be bull rally. So let's see what we get. It will be an interesting week. Okay, and last one, because it was a community wish, because it was wished, SDOT. So first of all, I have to say, it's a terrible chart. It really is. It is terrible. This is blah. Yeah. Second, if you're not in it, I would say hands off. Why? We have our top point, our C, went down, came up again. And this is our lower high. Yeah. This is the highest point here. This lower high went till here. It's a massive lower high. It just ended here. Yeah. And we were still falling. So in my opinion, right now, we're doing just M. The only question is, was this already the peak of M? Yeah. Because you could say for the bullish version, you have your V, small, higher, low, A, B. In that case, you're still looking for your C. For the levels, we will come into a second. For the C, your maximum target will be 266. I will come into a second. But it would be something between 100 and 240, something in here for your C. That's only if this here was B. If this here is already C and you have a small b here, this is already your M. This here. In that case, the next target is under $2. And somewhere down here, you will get a bounce for your T. Yeah. First, for levels, I would say everything over 35, and you have a good chance that you still go over 104. No financial advice. If you're going down from here, I would say everything under 10, 11, and you already got your peak here. Yeah. The thing why this looks so fucking terrible. First of all, you already had 3 splits. 1 to 110, another 1 to 10, and a 1 to 20. That means overall you had a reverse split 1 to 40. That's why the same thing like FFI, same thing like FFI, you will, or Moolen, yeah, you will never ever break this trend line again. Not without a forward split. But also a forward split will fuck your position. Yeah? But without a forward split, you don't break this line. And you can only dream about this trend line. Yeah. Again, show me one stock which made 3 reverse splits or 1 big one and still went up here. No. Yeah. And next problem is, I don't know how many shares they can dilute or whatever. But right now, they have a share float of 740K, not million, K. The float is smaller than 1 million shares. That means if they can't dilute anymore, this here was the last split because the share float is too small. So if this is not suddenly turning bullish, or they dilute, or they really going bullish and doing a forward split, this was the last split, and this company is going into zero. Yeah, because a 740K float is tiny. Yeah, so I don't know anything about the company. Yeah, but this chart looks like a dying company. Just my opinion. Yeah. We have the levers, so act accordingly. No financial advice. Okay. As always, tutorial video here, playlist here, big roadmap video back there. If you liked it, leave a like. If you want to see more, leave an abo. And let's see what this week has for us. We see us.